All right, welcome back, guys. We have made it to episode 4. We would like to thank everyone for joining us here on the Southern Maryland Showroom podcast. Today is a topic that I'm excited to talk about because it's not so carry. It's a little bit more human. It involves the things that we do at the dealership to bring some sort of, I don't say humanity to our people, but it is how we involve ourselves in the community with more than just asking you to buy cars, parts, and services. Again, this is episode 4. We'd like to thank everyone who's participated so far. We appreciate all the views, all the likes, all the comments, all the sharing. We would not be anything without the guys who watch our show. With that, I'd like to introduce 2 very special guests. These are the very first ladies that we've had here on the Southern Maryland podcast. I'd like to introduce Aurora Clancy. And I'd like to introduce Dee Aud. You may know her as Dee throughout the dealerships, if you guys are watching this from the dealerships. Aurora, I'm going to start with you. I want you to tell the people how long you've been with the dealership and what it is you actually do here at the dealerships, besides cough.
Besides cough, I know, I'm trying to recover
here. It's okay.
Well, this month I'm about to turn 5 years with the company. But I am the director of operations, so essentially we all wear many hats, and that's just part of what I do. True. I help the sales department in any way that I can, support and training, onboarding, as well as a little bit of the marketing aspect of it. But yeah, it's been almost 5 years, and it's been a pleasure.
So that's when I walk past you, you're in like that glass room with the guys at the computer. You're in there getting new sales guys up to speed and things like that.
Exactly. So we do a lot of the training. Really, anything that helps the sales team be successful, we just try to dive in and help them out.
And Dee, I know your field of expertise is a little bit more, I don't want to call you, I want to call what you do like the fun department.
The money end.
Yeah, because that's where it all comes from. So tell everybody what it is you do with the dealership and how long you've been doing it.
I have been with Cody Holdings since 95, so I'll be 30 years in July. I am the controller for Prince Frederick Ford and Prince Frederick Chrysler. I help out also with Upper Marlboro Ford. I do have my hands in a couple of the other dealerships helping out with different odds and ends during the week. Just a fun part of the dealership.
Absolutely.
And the accounting end.
Absolutely. And like I said, this portion of it, we're not going to be talking about so much of automotive cars or purchasing. We're going to be talking about how, as a dealership, we integrate ourselves into the community. And that's by different things, whether it's we're donating money, whether we're supporting a local Boys and Girls Club, whether it's we're cutting checks for, any kind of charity. We do a lot of that stuff. And again, I just want to know, Aurora, on your end, because I see you evolved a lot of that stuff on our website. When I see pictures of us holding up the big checks and stuff like that.
Absolutely, the big checks.
The big checks.
The big bucks.
What made you think or decide to, hey, like we need to be more involved, and how did you get involved in that aspect of it, of bringing the dealership into the community?
Excuse me again. I think for any business, it's very important to remember that we aren't able to be successful without acknowledging how important our community, right? So they're investing and buying into our products, but we also need to recognize how important every individual that comes into our dealership understands it's not just about us and selling products and services, right? We need to help them understand that we support our staff and things that are important with our staff within the community that they work in. So giving back to charity, nonprofit organizations in the local area, and also support causes that mean something to them. So, for example, this month we're supporting multiple sclerosis month, so it's a month of awareness. And this month also is important for our staff because we have someone the topic is important to them. So we're doing fundraising in that regard.
And Dee, as well, I know you have your hand in a lot of that stuff because
Yes.
You do a lot as well. And from the rumor is that you know a lot of sports people and things of that nature. So how do you utilize those skills into, or how did you feel like this is something you wanted to do as part of the dealership?
Well, we've been doing events in Prince Frederick for 11 years now. This is our 11th year coming up. The first one we did was the community appreciation, and I chose that instead of saying customer appreciation, so that we had everybody was enveloped in this. And we have the Humane Society of Calvert County was looking for some help. So that's how we got started on that and brought them in. We do now sponsor a Dog of the Week. and they choose the dog, and if the dog's adopted, we pay the adoption fees.
Right on.
That's so cool.
For the community appreciation, we pay for all the adoptions for that day. And we have the Raminator is a Chrysler product, the Ram, and it's the fastest monster truck in the world. So we brought that in on our community day. And it's just bringing something out there. You're giving to the community and bringing fun and showing, I guess in my point, I was trying to develop a relationship, but a fun one where they're not like, oh God, it's a car dealership,
Right.
you know, or it's a salesperson. They're in there, they come out, they spend the day. We have bounce houses, but we also bring a celebrity in, and we do free autograph signings. So that brings 200 to 300 people, sometimes more, depends on the person. But
So the fun department,
It's
just like
the
I
fun
said,
department.
it's
It really
the
is.
fun department. And I feel blessed to be a part of like doing this podcast because it's not the norm that I do. I'm a service writer by trade, but when Duncan calls me, I'm a podcast guy. So,
Yeah.
and to touch on some things, like it sounds like, and I'm gonna go from Dee to Aurora, the logistics of setting something like that up. Like if you told me that I need to get a football player or a celebrity here, I would not. What do I grab a phone book? Like what are the logistics of setting something that huge up?
I actually, 10 years ago, got in a relationship with a company called Above Average Graphing, and he's become like family, Monk Wells. And he does charity auctions, autographs. He sets up different autograph items, and people bid on them. And then you choose a charity. At the end of the day, whatever is above his price, he donates, and you choose, like we choose Humane Society at different times. And we've done Children's Aid. We've done different things. But whatever his profit after that, he gives to us to donate to a charity. So he also has agents and things that contact him. I ended up getting somehow hooked up with Craig Laughlin, who is the color analyst for Washington Capitals. And he in turn brings a lot of the Capitals in, and he'll go and knock on the door and say, hey, Dee's got this going on. We've got Toys for Tots is our huge thing in November. And this past November, we filled 2 of the Pro Masters, completely filled. And the caps come down. We've had Washington Commanders. We've had some from Christmas Story at Christmas time. We've had some of the actors, wrestlers. We've had a little bit of everybody, but we've developed with Monk. Monk has connections, and then we've now in turn got our connections through him. And people, it's amazing how much people want to give back. And coming down to Southern Maryland, you don't get that opportunity very often
Absolutely.
to be able to see these
Absolutely.
people. So in turn, we feel like the community has kind of backed us. They come in, they support us with the Toys for Tots. We've had, with our Community Appreciation Day, we've had the FBI come in with the Identikid. Different things that you try to show something in the community that we're not just a dealership.
Right.
We're a family, and we want people to realize that we're not the bad guys.
Absolutely, and I
That's the
100%
biggest-
get it because a lot of people equate going to the dealership like not. It's like
Tooth pulling.
going to the dentist. No one wants to do it, right? But you have to do it
Right.
eventually every once in a while.
Right.
And Aurora, same question to you because when I see the things that you pull off, again in my head. Again, when somebody comes in, they want to oil change and tire rotation. I write that up, right? But
Right.
they ask you to do a lot. Like, what goes in? Like when they give you a mission, like how do you where's the start? Like where do you start? Like when you
I think Dee probably can validate the point. It's really a group effort. So it's
Oh,
not just
absolutely.
like Dee or
It's
Aurora.
not one person.
No, not at all. The whole dealership really pitches in when it comes to like ideas that come from our own staff and they want to see it come to fruition. We kind of form a group internally to try to see how we can make it happen. So, for example, today's a really good example. It's Employee Appreciation Day, and it's just a matter of reaching out to the person who knows and has like the contact to make it happen as soon as possible. So we have great team, Miss Mary, who sets up all the luncheons and stuff like that, and she's amazing. So it's not just an individual,
yeah, she's
for
an
sure.
amazing woman. Yeah,
Yes.
so I get it, and again, I feel fortunate enough to be like I'm learning a lot. Right, coming from Honda to Toyota, at Honda I was a salesperson. in Toyota, I get to be more behind the scenes, and I get to know people who do a lot of things. So again, very blessed to sit here with you two ladies to have this conversation. Again, Dee, I'm going to come back to you. Seeing that you have these high-profile relationships, just share with us again, because like being from Southern Maryland and being down in these parts, we don't get to see a whole lot of celebrities.
No,
Again, can you share some stories with us? Something that maybe it comes to mind about setting something up that would maybe have surprised you, or something that was unexpected?
We had Braden Holtby a year ago that is, for people that don't know Capitals, he was our star goalie and the one that really brought the Stanley Cup to D.C. Well, this woman called us, and she kept asking if she could please bring, she had gone to an auction and had his actual laundry basket from the locker room. And she's like, I really want Braden to sign my laundry basket. And I'm like, okay, I'll try to get you in, She brings this laundry basket out, and I thought Braden was at a birthday party. His face lit up. I mean, these people are just normal people, and you don't think of them that way. You think, oh my gosh, it's a star.
Yeah.
They are just as thrilled with the things that people come in with, but that laundry basket was the highlight of his day.
And that speaks volumes
Shock.
of your relationships, because had it not been good with you, he might have just as easily blown that off.
Yeah, it was funny.
Aurora, same question to you. Has there been an event that has taken place where things have happened where you were pleasantly surprised, like, wow, this worked out better than I thought it was, or it didn't work out as well as I thought it was going to work out?
There definitely have been situations that didn't work out as well as we expected, but let's just point out the highlights for the sake of the show. Well, recently we had a trunk or treat event at our dealership, and I think it would have been the second time we had hosted individually at our dealership, and it really turned out to be, the turnout was more than anticipated, even though we did our best efforts to kind of keep account of people who were going to show up. So it was like over 400 people of the community who came to the trunk or treat. And again, it was a group effort. It was our service department, some of our rental teams that were keeping account. So everyone kind of knew their role to play within the event.
My role was Barney in an inflatable Halloween suit.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
So we all played into the roles, and I was kind of telling people where to park, and we had people playing with the basketball hoops, and the other departments that selected to decorate their vehicles for the trunk or treat event and passing out candy was a lot of fun, and just a successful event all in all. And we're just looking forward to other things that we can deliver to our community members in that way. And it was a fun activity.
Yeah, that made me feel good to get the kids all, and I understand what you're saying, which was going to lead into my next question, because the response from that was right? It felt good, right? Mm-hmm. It's not changing oil, it's not selling a car. It was a connection, right?
Absolutely.
It built a connection
Yes.
with our community, which leads me to the next question: is, in general, what do you think the overall reception to our efforts are what is some of the feedback that you get back from the community for some of these events that we pull off?
I think that's such a great question, because it's really what drives us at the end of the day. Like, getting negative feedback is always well appreciated, but then it's good times like those where customers directly to your face say, thank you so much for doing this for us, or thank you for creating a safe environment for my child to come and do, pick up candy for trick or treat and stuff like that. So whenever you have that customer or just community member speak to you as a person, because it's a person-to-person interaction, a human-to-human connection, it's very impactful. And you see it because they come back and they talk about those sort of things, whether we're donating money, or we're, doing fundraising or collecting items to donate for nonprofit organizations in the area. It's those subtle, really positive stories that we get that just keep us moving and doing more for the community.
And same question to you, Dee, because some of the things that you present to people, I won't say they're life-changing, but like if I were able to meet a football hero of mine, I don't know how that would influence me. Right. So I could only imagine some of the things that people say to you for creating these situations where they meet these celebrities that otherwise they wouldn't have gotten a chance to meet. So what are some of the feedback that you get in creating these celebrity situations for our guests, for our customers?
It's so positive. Most of the people, they're so used to, we do like almost 7 events a year now. And we've just added another one for April, but that's another story. But they start calling because they know the different patterns of the months that we do them. And they'll start calling me, who's coming this year? And, what are you doing this year? And, it just, we've created this little vacuum over there that they know that there's something coming, and the excitement. We have a tagline now that I've stuck on our logo is now, we bring excitement to Southern Maryland.
Nice.
So
That's T-shirt worthy.
Yeah,
well,
it
that's what
is.
we have on our. So they have kind of figured out that we have these events going, but at the same time, they're so positive about it, and they're like, they thank you, and they go to our salespeople who, we're like a very low pressure, and they appreciate that. The salespeople are there during the day with the events. We might not sell a ton of cars that day, but the next few days, you see the people coming back. Oh, I saw that car. I was really involved with getting my autograph, but I really would like to see that car. So you've developed this positive attitude, and the community has backed us with. We were the #1 dealer for the last 2 years with the Southern Maryland papers. They have nominated us, and things like that, mean a lot to us because we feel like we want to give back. We want to make them feel like they're part of us. Even they don't have to buy a car from us to come and do the events. They don't have to be there, but they come.
Absolutely.
And that makes a difference, the positive attitude.
And I think the amount of positive feedback that you guys are both speaking of would not happen if the efforts that we put in weren't genuine.
Mm-hmm.
If the people who came to these events, who came to these social events, did not feel that our efforts were genuine, right? They don't come across as gimmicky. Like to bring up the Halloween one, it was my first event as such, but it felt very family oriented, and the people that were coming, like you said, we kind of set them up to have this open arms. It's safe. It's, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yes.
So you feel that, and it just changes everything, right? Because I'll admit I scared a few kids dressed as Barbie, but I hugged more kids than I scared, and it was just again a great thing, and my first time being a part of one of our social events in that manner. I've done other things through Honda. But to be able to do that again, and I talk about it's a highlight of my career.
Absolutely.
Being with it because it was fun, right? It was genuinely fun. I had a great time, and I was at work.
That's part of the reason why we do it too. Because personally, I like to be involved with organizations, and I want to come to work and feel like there's a purpose to not just like making money. We're all here to make money, and that's fantastic. But what else, right? Can we talk about what's happening within our work environment? How does this really fit into the community and the stories that we're sharing with our customers when they're sitting with us? So when it comes to our sales representatives, they can openly talk about these events and how they've gotten feedback, and they can just share those stories, and it just adds to the welcoming environment that we offer our community altogether. And I know, Dee, when you talk about, your customers giving you a call or community members giving you a call, how great does that feel?
Positive, It's great. We've done Trunk or Treat 3 years now, and we have a little farm that's on 231 from us, and they have started doing their own Trunk or Treat, and the lines that people were backed up on 231 going there, so they got aggravated. They couldn't get in the last 2 years, so they've turned around and come to ours. And we also, with our getting our employees involved, we'll have the people that are there vote for the best trunk.
Oh, nice.
So that we'll give the employee a little incentive, and we'll give them a little prize that they win. And then the person that voted and gets pulled the name, they also get a prize. We'll make a little basket up or something. But it's the involvement like that you get. Your employees start buying into this, and then, the excitement, and you become a big family as well as welcoming the community. But we've developed this big relationship in the dealership. Everybody gets excited when they start to come, and that makes you feel good that you've pulled something in besides just, like you say, coming to work. The boredom of the tediousness of every single day.
Well, and to touch on that, just not coming to work. What are some of your favorite things about doing this kind of stuff, right? Like, what drives you to keep doing, like even some of the bad negative stuff, but like you say, I'm going to do it again. right? Why do you do it again? Like, what drives you to do it again?
People.
Well, they said it.
Happiness.
People. Yeah.
The people?
Turn them around. Yeah.
Well, and without the people, again, the store, I don't want to say we're nothing, but we need our community. Right? And I
Absolutely.
think that's why it's very important that we invest back the way we do into our community, because again, the way we do it, it is very genuine, and it does not, again, come across as gimmicky, which I think is why we have such success with the events that we do. I have not yet met a superstar. I will give you a list after you do the show of some of the people that I would like to meet. So maybe
I have
you
a couple
could-
big ones. Well,
Yes.
I have a big one coming in July, but I can't tell
so,
you that one.
Okay, so what can you tell our community? Can you give us anything about what's coming up? Is there anything on the horizon that we should be on the lookout for?
The immediate one, we have an April one. We're going to do an Easter bunny and an egg hunt for the kids. That's our newest one. We
Prince
haven't done that
Frederick, or is
before.
that going to be?
That's going to be in Prince Frederick
Prince
Chrysler.
Frederick,
We have the Raminator will be there in July. Our community appreciation in May, we're going to change up a little bit. We usually have the Raminator there. And we're going to do a little different this year. And our July event's going to be Christmas in July. So that'll be a little fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, we do a lot of different things. We do the county fair. We do the trunk or treat in October. Toys for Tots is my heart. That's the biggest one. That's usually November, December, whenever we can get the caps. You know, their schedule's kind of funky sometimes. But whenever we can get somebody to come down, they're always gung-ho to come and help us. And Craig Laughlin and his family are always there. They come down for everything and help us out, and they draw a lot of people as well. And it's just giving back and watching people's faces. And you know, we had 400 people in November that came for the Toys for Tots. And just the excitement, you know, I stand at the table and watch these kids come through that, you know, like you say, even now meeting a person of some kind of stature or celebrity status. It's just, and they're just people. They're there in regular clothes, and they're happy, and they're talking and taking pictures, and you know, it's just a world of difference that you see these people and the happiness. That's what it's all about.
I think one of the more important thing to point out is that we work with local nonprofits, so we know the impact it's having, because they relay to us the impact it's having itself. So in the season
The
of
food
giving,
drives
the
and
food
coat
drives,
drives and things,
absolutely, those are the things that really help out our community,
Mm-hmm.
because not everyone has the ability to provide, you know, the big feast
Mm-hmm.
during Thanksgiving. So just being able to be a part of that,
Mm-hmm.
make an impact. A lot of our staff at Waldorf Toyota, they purchase and bring items from their own home to donate. So it's a really, we keep talking about this feel good, but
It does.
But that's what it is.
It really
It is.
does.
And I guess it
Yes.
answers why you do it.
Yes.
Right? Because it feels good. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like you're doing something harmful, right? We're investing in our community. Like,
Yeah.
We're actually being helpful.
I think that's what makes this company what it is, because we stand out. We're different. We want to be different. We want to be noticed, that we give back and that we care about people, that it's not just a number for us, that it's not a money thing. Yes, we want to make money. We can continue to do these events and these programs, but it makes us stand out above all the other dealerships. And
Absolutely.
that's what I think
Yes,
drives both of us to try to make us
Ma'am.
be something different.
And again, for someone who may be budding in somewhere in one of our stores that we have, if they were looking to put together something like this, or just to be more involved in the things that we do in our community outreach programs, how would they even get started? Like, if is there a way for people who would be interested in devoting some of their time to being helpful? Is there a way for them to do so?
Yeah, so within the relationships we build with our community, like the nonprofits, there's always opportunity to donate your time, right? Or donate items or donate money. So sometimes if you don't have money or don't have the time to be there, just ask. It's just a matter of asking. We have a lot of people who just come into the dealership and may not even know I'm their point of contact, but they ask around, you know, I need money for this or that. And they just find out. It's just a matter of reaching out to the dealership and asking. Yeah.
Yep. We have a lot of people that call, that a lot of the clubs and things, that they'll see us doing events and they'll say, you know, my daughter is going to Florida with cheerleading things. And, you know, we can't do everybody, but we try to, kind of spread it out and help out. There's people over there, Prince Frederick is kind of a very diverse area. And, you might have a McMansion in one corner and the next corner you've got a tent, so you try to look out and hope that you can reach out to everybody. But it's amazing that you find the people that do come to the events, they suggest things. They'll say, what about, can you do the Boys and Girls Club, or, do a food drive? And I know over here you have Maryland Food Bank, where they don't come into Prince Frederick. We have Catholic Charities that does it on Prince Frederick area. So when you're doing something like that and you're gathering, you're bringing the community to you. We have a donation for the Humane Society of Calvert County. So they bring dog food and different things. They'll put a post, and they know that we are related to them, so they'll bring it to us. So there again, you're bringing customers to you that you might not ever see.
Okay. Well, before we close this up, is there anything that you like our listeners, our viewers, to know about the importance of community engagement? Is there any message that you want to put out there that'll drive us in the future to help make these events more engaging and more successful than they've ever been? Is there anything you want to tell our listeners about, again, the importance of community engagement?
I think it's important to remember we all seek connection. And I think the reason it's so important for us to continue to do what we do within the community is because we do business with people we like, and we want to know that if we have shared ideas and we connect with one another, we can always make the world a better place. I know it sounds super cliche and cheesy, but times are not easy all the time. And if you have someone to rely on to ask questions and ask for money support in any way, that there are ways to come to a solution for whatever problem. So whether we're talking about vehicle services or just charity events or stuff like that, it's okay just to start a conversation and make a connection with people.
Oh, Dee, anything to piggyback on that?
I just think I agree perfectly, because it's really hard out there for a lot of people, and it's getting harder at times right now. I think it's nice that people will look into someone's eyes and say, I can help you, or I'd like to help you, or what do you need? What can I do for you? Instead of, what are you doing for me? And that's the biggest thing.
Yes, ma'am.
I feel that I'd rather give to somebody than take from somebody. And I would hope that that message gets out with our events, with our community involvement. Maybe wakes one person up. It means a lot.
That means a lot. Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you two for giving us your time at Southern Maryland Showroom. You were the first two guests here at our new digs. Normally at the end of the podcast, I'll ball the paper up and I'll throw it at the camera. But with these very fancy looking chairs and table, I'm just going to set the paper down, put my pen down. I would like to thank my engineer, who's never on screen, Duncan, for putting this together and taking the time for hooking this up. Guys, we cannot do this without you guys. We need the likes. We need the shares. We want to thank everyone for listening, and we'll see you next time on the Southern Maryland Showroom.